Hello, fourth grade scientists, and welcome back to Ergstown. So we're in our third activity of lesson 1.4. We just did our simulations, and now we're going to use some of that information to think about electrical energy. So let's go back and figure out what our purpose is for today and what our purpose for the unit is. So our unit question, the big idea we're trying to solve this whole unit about energy conversions is, how does the electrical system work? Always keep that in your mind. That is our purpose. You, as system engineers, this is your job. How does the electrical system work? Today's specific purpose is to find out what devices use electrical energy in our simulations. So, what do you think we need to figure out? Well, we're going to have to go back to our simulations, and we're going to have to figure out what electrical energy is. Let's do this. All right, electrical energy. You have to ask yourself, how do you know if a device uses electrical energy? So think about what you know about electricity. Any experiences you've had with electricity. Have you been shocked before? Have you turned anything on before? Have you seen energy in motion like we talked about in the beginning? Like somebody running is using energy. Turning on a light switch is using energy differently. Well, we're going to talk about a toaster today. So let's say I take my nice little piece of bread and I put it in my toaster. I push the button down. It doesn't stay down. Why isn't it toasting my bread? Take a minute to think about it. Why isn't it toasting my bread? If you said I didn't plug it in, you're probably right. If you don't have the device plugged into the wall, into the outlet, into the electrical system, it's not going to give any electricity to the device, and therefore you can't use it. So if I plug my toaster in, then I push down my lever, it's going to hold on to my bread, and it's going to toast it. I'm going to have yummy bread that I can put butter or peanut butter or grape jelly on, right? Before you go any further, I want you to look around your room or around the room that you're in and see if you can find anything that uses electricity that might have to be plugged into work. So you might look up in the ceiling. Are those lights plugged in anywhere? Is my computer plugged in anywhere? How about my phone? Does my phone ever get plugged in to keep it working? Think of as many things or devices that you can plug in to electricity to make them work. Now, it might plug them into charge a battery, but it's still the electricity that is doing that. Take just a minute to think about those. All right, so what is an electrical device? Think back to our sim now. How do you know if a device is using electrical energy? So I had some gas, I had some fun, I had the wind, I had a crank. Did any of those use electrical energy? Are those using the electrical energy, or do those provide the energy for the devices? Is the sun electrical energy, or does it provide the energy to something so it can have electricity? Think back to the one that you saw made with the fan and the motor and the solar panel. All right, the sun lit up the solar panel. The solar panel was connected with with two things. What things were they? To the motor and the fan. And when we put the light on, it spun. What are those things, those red things that connected them? They are wires. If you thought wires, pat yourself on the back. Because to get the electricity from the system over here to my device, they have to be connected somehow. And that connection is a wire. So what we're going to do in our investigation notebook, So if you have it, find page 12. If not, you're going to want to do this in Seesaw, print it out possibly. We are going to look at all the devices. You can see them here in our sim again and see which ones use electrical energy, only electrical energy. If they do, we're going to circle them. If they don't, we're going to cross them out. So you're going to have some X's, you're going to have some circles, and then you're going to answer the question, how can you tell if a device in the sim is using electrical energy? These are the only devices we're going to be looking at. But you're going to have to make them, we're going to have to make some things again in our simulation to see if they use electrical energy. So you're going to have to go back into your sim. I'll show you all those directions again. And you're going to have to choose an energy source and make some devices. All right? But let's talk a little bit more before you do that. What I want you to do is think about the word input. We've been talking, and Ms. Zielinski talked about compound words. Maybe today, maybe she'll do it tomorrow, or yesterday, one of those 3 days. And compound words and compound sentences, two parts that come together. We've talked about it in spelling before too. So what are the two words that make up input? So I'm looking for two words that could stand on their own. I see the word in and the word put. Those are words that could be by themselves, right? Put them together, they make a new word. So what does the word input mean? What does the word input be? I'm thinking. Oh yeah, it means I have to put it into something else in order for it to work. To put it into something else in order for it to work. So we're going to look at these devices and they need to be connected. We talked about how they have to be connected. They have to be connected to an energy source in order to work. So our assignment is to find electrical devices that have energy going into them for them to work. That means the energy is coming from somewhere else into them. So if there's energy in my food, I eat it, it gives me energy. There's energy somewhere, it's coming into the device and something happens. Maybe it spins, maybe the light goes on, maybe it sends energy to the next place, but it has to be coming into them. That's the key for today. Energy coming input into them. It's plugged into something, the energy comes in. Not all of these will have electrical energy, so you have to try them out. So you just go through each one, figure out which ones work, which one has energy coming in order for them to work. So this will be in Seesaw or page 12 of your notebook. So let's review how you get back to your simulation. Now this is a little bit different because our bookmarks aren't student apps. We go straight to Amplify, if you remember. We're going to click on our bookmarks, our shschicago.org bookmarks, and we're going to choose Amplify Science. Amplify Science are in our bookmarks. Then we're going to choose the energy conversion. And I was told that my picture of energy conversion looks different than yours. Yours is already in a blackout. So make sure you choose the right one and then click on the orange number 1, and that will get you inside your sim. Here's your specific directions. Now remember, I'm going to move this down out of the way. We do not use our username. We use the username specifically for this program, and it is 4th student and 4th grade 4. If you haven't written this down somewhere else in your investigation notebook, in your science notebook, so you have it for the future, because we will have other simulations this year, please do it right now. Write it down. Username, 4th, written out, F-O-U-R-T-H, student, S-T-U-D-E-N-T. Password, 4th, F-O-U-R-T-H dash grade 4. Grade 4, okay? All right, so you want you to log on to the sim. Now, I want to take you through just one together, and then you're going to go and do the rest on your own. So let me get out of this slideshow, and we will go into our simulation. I can. There it is. There's my exit. Now I'm going to go into my simulation. Here I am in my simulation. We need an energy source. You can try all the energy sources. I'm going to use the sun, and I want to have lots of energy, so I'm going to go up to the 100. So we have our device choices. I remember one of them was this solar panel. So the solar panel can, remember if it turns orange here and run, I can make it run. So let's see what happens. It says light to electrical. So is it getting electrical energy? No, it's getting light, but it's making electrical energy that it wants to send out. So we need to add something to it. So, what could I add? Let's try this one, the motor. All right, let's run and see what happens. Did you see what happened in my simulation? It says, first of all, it says light to electrical, and it added that magical thing, that wire. So the motor is plugged into the solar panel, it's plugged into something in order to have it work. So on my sheet of paper, I'm going to circle the motor in my investigation notebook or on Seesaw because it needs electrical energy to work. So I hope we have fun doing this, and I will see you next week.